I just made the assignments for this week, and there are 2 for you, both related to one thing. So I just want to clarify. Here's what you will see. So Khan Academy Animation 101. I'm going to attach this video to the assignment for you. You'll click this link, and you can look in the assignment description. Basically, I chose this, sadly, because I was thinking the lip sync thing, excuse my daughter playing fight in the background. The lip sync thing is something that can be done in drawing on paper, but it also may need to be done in Animate, and some of you may not have access to Animate, and some of you may be able to use drawing pads, so we'll put the lip sync thing aside. This is a program, a lesson series, that goes into depth in animation in ways that I didn't know how to, and it starts off by going over some of the concepts we already went over, except it provides a little more clarity on like the Bezier curves and stuff. So we'll start at the beginning, we'll see how it goes, and then we'll get into more complex stuff, and you will be impressed by what you learn through Khan Academy, I believe. So first exercise. Click this link. Oops, I think I already did that. Okay, maybe not. Click this link, and it will take you, not here. Okay, let me just follow the link. Click this link, and it will take you here. I think that's the same thing as this. I have way too many tabs, as you can see. Come on. Okay, since I've already tried it myself, it starts me in a different area. But it says start here. You just click here. And I believe it may be both of them. We'll see. You just click Lesson 1, Introduction. It takes you to the Introduction to Animation and talks about how math is involved with animation. And this is one of our objectives that we needed to cover. So I'm hoping that this concept really comes out so that you can get clarity on the uses of math for animation and why it's necessary. However, the math that they use, they have some algebra, but it's mainly geometry. Geometry was not my strong suit. I was good at math. But we're talking like 15 years ago when I last practiced math. So I'm not going to require you to practice the math concepts, which will come in one lesson series. But I am going to require you to know about the math concepts. So, first of all, they start with straight ahead animation. You can see these logos right here. That means there's a video that you can watch. And then you practice this video. We did straight ahead animation, and they use balls. We did balls in Animate. They're just explaining the concepts behind it a little bit better. Because of all my tabs, my internet connection is slow. Okay, and it took us back to the first page. Here's straight ahead animation. Okay, so after each video, there's also an activity. And I would like you to do that activity and go through it. I don't know how this program exactly works, so it may save it and show me how you did it, which I would appreciate, or it may not. And in that case, I may have to ask you questions to see. But with this first lesson, no additional questions, but straight ahead animation, you know, is just frame 1, frame 2. He shows you in the video here how to do it. Linear interpolation is thinking of the key poses and framing those, and then framing the stuff in between. We've done that too. And he talks about that in the video. Animation with linear interpolation, he describes a little bit of mapping it out and how to get the proper distance. I don't think he goes into extreme detail, so it wasn't really helpful for me, but it may be helpful for you to see. And then he brings in the Bezier curves. We have used those a little bit in some of our animations, and we didn't really bring out the vocabulary, though. Bezier curves, what they do, and so I would like you to think about what do they do, and then do the animation with the Bezier curve to see how it applies. That's one of the animation principles we went over. It's pretty self-explanatory as to what it does, but I do have a question on how does that add personality to your animation. And they do a cute little visual with a lamp, which reminds me of an old animation video I saw where there was a lamp. Wish I could remember the name of it. And a toaster. Do you guys remember that one? I wish I could remember the name of it. And the vacuum. They travel to some new house or something. I don't know. There's a Practice Animation 101 where it asks you the main questions. And after going through the video, you should be able to answer those questions well. You can get hints. You can retry. But hopefully I'll be able to see your progress on that. And if so, in the future, you'll have fewer questions from me. And if it's not something that I can see, then I'll have to do the questions myself, and you will be able to get practice through. So it's just a matter of how does this work with me being able to see it in Google Class. We'll see if I need to add more questions for you so I can actually see what you answered, or if it turns in what you answered, which is what I would hope that it does. But the final thing is, yes, practice animation. I'm waiting on it right now. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. It's going to have a graph. And the graph is going to have 4 variables. The x variable and y variable you're probably used to from math. You know, x up and down, y side to side. And then it throws in an s variable, which I think it's explained in the video on number 4, and an r variable. I'm going to want you to determine what it explains it throughout the process. Oh, save your animation. All that waiting, and it wasn't even the one I was talking about. That's the quiz that I was talking about before. Practice animation is where it pulls up those balls. It says, your turn, use the program below to build your animation. It asks, can you make the ball look heavy? Can you make it look like a water balloon? I'm sure you can, and it will be based on what variables you may need to change for that. I want you to think you don't necessarily have to turn in this is a heavy ball to me, and this is a water balloon ball. I'd like you to try it for the fun of it, but at least think about what variables need to change for the ball to look heavier. I think I just illustrated one. And for the ball to look more like a water balloon, more flexible, hint, hint. And then you'll put those into the form where I'm asking you questions. I'm waiting for it to load. Hopefully it goes faster for you because you won't have as many tabs open. Okay, but as you can see, you can change the ball position and everything, and then try it out. Yeah, so you can easily figure out what changes with each of those variables. And then play it. But this is the one where copy all the text in the box and paste it here. You make and save your animation and turn in the text in the box. So go ahead and try to do that. And then if you can do that and I could see it without you having to turn in extra stuff, that would be wonderful. But if not, just sample it and copy and paste that into Google Classroom so that I can see what you've done. And the other assignment. It is going to be posted also in Google Classroom. It's based on all the information you went through here. So you can fill it out first and then do the practice, or do the practice. It just depends on which way you want to go about it. I'm going to close some of these tabs. But it is 2 things. One is the Academy itself. The other is the form. And then submit that. And those are your 2 things for the week. Okay, here's the form. Lesson questions right here. Instructions. And I do want to point out for my audio-video people, I have a photo merger going on here. And I've planned it, actually. Don't I look like the Statue of Liberty with the crown on my head? Anyway, I thought that was fun. Okay, I will attach the form to that. So you'll just be able to go to this and get the form, and it looks like this. I've put the videos from the series in just for your help right next to the questions that relate to it, so you can watch the videos and then answer. And those are all your questions. That's all your work for the week. We'll see how it goes. In future lessons, it brings in more math in some of the future lessons. Let me just kind of tease you on some of this. You don't have to keep watching. I do want to go ahead and say what I saw. It looks like this is the old one, because it says ball up there. Maybe this one. Okay, here's the cool assignment I wanted to show you in the future. Environment modeling. It goes in a little more into math. I'm not going to require you to know how to calculate the arcs, but there are some exercises on building these arcs. There's this, that if we were in class, we would do some string art for fun. But this shows you how to model grass and then how to animate it, and uses the movie Brave as an example for how this is done so that the animation looks more natural. So that's ahead. You can get started on that if you finish the stuff quickly this week and you want to just look into that. I think it's some good stuff here. The stuff that goes very into math, like calculating the midpoint and stuff, we're just going to skip that. But I'll assign what I think will be useful for you in your knowledge and good for you in understanding animation.